clearly we've got three companies that seem to be in this incredible dogfight about leadership and popularity. What do we think is going to be 2008, and what will be introduced at CES that will make a difference?
We're starting to see more pieces of hardware that are actually compatible with, universal plug-and-play compatible with the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360. Not so much the Wii, but the Wii is sort of an outlier in this example. But being able to put a terabyte of information somewhere in the house and have that information available on your Xbox or PS3 immediately, it could be photos, it could be music, it could be video, it could be any number of things, is actually going to be very compelling, which is it's going to sell a lot of storage. I mean, to have a terabyte of information in the house and to have all that music, all your pictures, everything, all your home movies just sitting somewhere in the ether for immediate access is going to be really interesting for people.
That's assuming that they have sort of the good housekeeping skills to build their network out and maintain it. I mean, I don't even back up as often as I should. So, I mean, possible. I think early adopters, I think the diehards will. I'm just going to be really contrary about the regular consumer, really want to build these networks.
But I think it's getting so easy to install these things. You just plug it into the wall and you plug it into your Ethernet port somewhere. It doesn't matter really where. It could even be hanging off your computer, which is already plugged in anyway.
And Guy, at Newsweek, are you seeing anything in terms of gaming that you find interesting or compelling in 2008?
Well, 2008, I think you're going to see the continued casualization of games. I mean, you look at what's happening on the Wii, you look at the success of Guitar Hero, and there's also Rock Band, which is really successful. And things like
both of those.
Yeah, they're amazing games. And I think you're going to see more of that because there's finally an understanding that the game publishers and developers have been trying to go after the same audience in the same ways for a really long time. And you've had these genres that have gotten kind of calcified. And there's a bigger audience to be reached. And so I think you're going to see more games that attempt to appeal to very different audiences. And some of the major publishers like Electronic Arts and Ubisoft are creating specific divisions around casual gaming.
I think you're right about the casual gaming because, I mean, we've seen such incredible developments, especially with DirectX 10, in the realism, in the detail, in terms of pushing the technological boundaries for the enthusiasts, the hardcore people. But the fact is, a lot of people just, want to make a little character walk around and, shoot little things or just do something kind of silly and fun to kill a little bit of time. Swing a Wii controller, and that's actually probably bigger. Could be a bigger market for sure.
Well, one of the things that we'll see, hopefully, second half of next year, that's related to games and will have applications elsewhere, is I think you're finally going to see commercial cameras that allow for that have 3D, so they can determine how far apart things are. So depth perception in cameras, and what that's going to allow you to do is everything that you can do on the Wii gesturally, you now can do without needing the remote or the nunchuck. You won't need any of that stuff. So you could swing your hand, could be the baseball bat or the bowling ball. There are companies that think that they can deliver this for under 125, under $100. And at that point, I think the Sonys of the world, the Microsofts, even the Nintendos of the world will be very interested.
This year, there's a new color that seems to be all the rage. It's called green. And everyone is trying to do something that's environmentally, ecologically friendly. In terms of our technologies and devices, are we seeing any of the new consumer electronics being responsive to this new consumer mindset?
Everything that we buy and eventually get rid of goes some sort of landfill. So recycling programs that a lot of the companies are doing now. You send us your old laptop, we'll send you a brand new one, that sort of thing. I think that's a good idea, but there's still a ways to go. I mean, these are still factories that are still using tons of resources, and that's why I like to focus on items that I really think that have staying power in the home at this point, instead of just obsessing over the latest thing, 50 phones as opposed to the one good phone.
One of the things that I sort of wonder is if there isn't sort of a values conflict here, because while there's definitely more of an interest in sort of the green movement and recycling and being environmental friendly and all those things, I wonder if some of the design values that people have, we want thinner phones and lighter phones and these kinds of gadgets and that kind of thing, and I wonder, is that the best way to build what you're talking about, like these longer lasting products? So, you have a phone that's really going to last you for 3 years, as opposed to falling apart after heavy use for one.
Your phone might last for 3 years, but who wants it after 3 years, right? I mean, I want the new, new iPhone with a terabyte of storage inside of it that's, half as thick. So it's, I mean, it is a real dilemma because, I don't think loving technology is a bad thing, but it does obviously lead to this culture where I always want to upgrade. I mean, not just but we always want to upgrade. We always want something better, and that's a problem.
I also think incremental design changes aren't really necessary. Like something like the DS versus the DS Lite, was it really necessary? I mean, the DS was pretty beefy, the Nintendo DS, or the two versions of PSP now. There's the slim version and the regular version. And I mean, I suppose that adds a little bit of vibrancy to the product line, but I mean, I know people who bought both.
Yeah.
So that's mercury gold and a little piece of LCD glass sitting around in their house that they're not going to use and they're going to throw away.
HotIce.tv,